Hi, I'm Stephen Power. I'm a professional photographer and video creator based in Portmagee in County Kerry in Ireland and owner of Skellig Ring photography workshops. Today I'm going to look at some video editing software, and it's at the request of one of my subscribers, Patsy Lynch, who's a keen photographer and drone pilot, and he would like to get started making his own videos. So I'm going to look at Pinnacle Studio, which is a standalone editing software for videos and which you can buy outright, unlike some of the more advanced softwares such as Adobe Premiere Pro, which is on subscription only. So this software, which can be bought for around €60, maybe $60, £60, is good for those who don't want to commit to a regular financial outlay. Although I will say about this software that it's not simple by any means. It's quite a complex piece of software, and I don't find it the most intuitive to use, to be honest. Others may feel differently, and let me know please in the comments below if you prefer this software to others. So I'm going to show you in this video how I would organize my media, the video files, photos, music for example, bring it into Pinnacle Pro, into a project, and then in the next video we'll look at some basic editing techniques. So let's get started. So as I've said, this is the way I do it. It might be, something that you would like to follow, or you might have your own ways of getting started with organizing your files. But basically I do this for every video I'm making with whatever software. So I'm in Windows 10 and I go into my PC and I connect my card reader, which has got the SD card in it. Of course you could plug the SD card straight into your laptop, for example, if you want to do that. Then I find the files that I want to use for a particular video that I'm making. In my case I go to DCIM, keep clicking. Usually the top folder will be the one where the files are. So I've got some, here I've got 3 video clips and 1 photo. So I control click on the videos first of all, and I then do a right click and copy, leaving them in the card at the moment. Then go back into the start menu, find my videos directory, create a new folder, and I might call it test video. Double click that, create another new folder, and my default name for this folder will be rough footage. You can call it raw footage or unedited footage or whatever you want, as long as you understand what's in there. Make it simple for yourself, really. Use terms that you understand. Right click again and paste, and this brings the 3 video clips into that folder. I then go back into the top folder, test video, create a new folder, and might call that music. Create another new folder, call that still images. I then look for any other media that I might need, whether it's still images or music, and put it into those folders. So now I've got all of the material or media, if you like, that I need to use for this particular video. And there are a couple of other things I could do with it. For example, just to make my own life a bit easier, I might want to rename the footage. I often do this by playing it and then just maybe seeing what it is, giving a name to it. But I sometimes also, I might tell myself to edit it at a certain time in the video, you know, start at 9 seconds or cut at whatever number that might be. So just I find that makes my life a bit easier when I come to actually doing the editing. In this case, I'm going to leave them, and we've got everything ready now to import into Pinnacle Studio when we need it. Okay, so here we are in the Pinnacle Studio software. You'll see 3 tabs at the top, 3 main tabs. We've got import, edit, and export. Sometimes the export will be grayed out if there's nothing on the timeline. Before we start editing, make sure that we've got everything set up as you want it to be. So we'll click setup and then go into control panel. You may also just see control panel in the menu here, depending on which version of the software you have. So we'll go into control panel, and the 2 settings that we really want to look at are the import settings and the project settings. In terms of the import, you'll decide where in your hard drive you want to store certain types of media, either video or audio usually, and there are other options here. These are usually more relevant if you're just bringing your media straight in through Pinnacle Studio. If you're setting it up as I do on the hard drive with my own folders, then most of this won't be of any real use to you, but certainly have a look and see if you want to set up your software and your projects that way. Then we'll have a quick look at project settings. This enables you to choose the video standard for showing your videos. PAL generally is the European standard, and NTSC is the North American and other countries standard as well. And then there's some more options in here: widescreen, progressive standard. I'm in Europe, so I'll go for the PAL standard. Under default durations, you'll see that I've got 2 at 5 seconds and 1 at 3 seconds. The default is 3 seconds. So for titles, for stills, and for transitions, each of these will last for 3 seconds in your video as a default setting. You can change them. To make it simpler, you can do it in the timeline as and when you're using these things. But just to make life simpler, I've changed the titles to 5 seconds because to me that's about long enough for people to watch, or not too short certainly. And the same for still photos. Transitions, it depends on the transition. Sometimes you may only want it to last for a second. Sometimes you might want it to last for 6, 7, 10 seconds. So that can vary. And again, you can change that as and when you need to. Some of the other settings may or may not be relevant to you, but for now, these are the basic settings that you need to look at. And then there are other options down here as well that you can obviously take some time and have a good look at those. The next thing we want to do is to tell the software that we're using or making a new movie. So we'll click that. I'm saying don't save because I had a movie set up already. And then we want to make a project bin, which is where we're going to save the material for that movie. So if we look over on the extreme left-hand side, you'll see some icons. The top one, like an open box, is for the project bins. So if we click that, it'll go orange. There's a lot more options down here as well we can look at in the second video. So once we're in the project bins, you'll see some project bins that I've already started, and to the right of the word project bins we can click create new project bin. So I'll call it test movie 3 because I've got a couple more on the go and it's going to tell me it already exists. Click OK, and then we get a new tab here. So I've got test movie 2, test movie 3, for example. And we can close some of these down if we don't want to see them, or we can move between them as and when we're working on different movies. So now we have this project bin open, and you'll see here that I actually moved to the left and this menu bar opened, but which will happen if I actually click the pin, it'll stay open. So that's your choice. So if I prefer not to look at it when I'm working on something else. Now we need to bring the media, the video clips, music and photographs into this project bin so we can work on them. So we right click, then click quick import, go into the folder where I've got the test video, find the rough footage subfolder, and I'll go into hold control and click each of these. If I only want 2, obviously I can just click off and bring in those 2. I'll bring in all 3, click open, and in they come. And they've come in under a banner with the heading of the folder that they're in. Okay, now again, right click, quick import, go back into test video, open the music folder, click the music that we're using, open, and that's come in under a music subheading, if you like, a banner. Third time, quick import, and we're going to bring in a still photo. Now, this is where I found something interesting happening when I tried this the first time. As I came to bring in the still photo I had, which was saved straight from the SD card into the hard drive, once I'd opened the folder, it wasn't there. And what I've discovered is, well, certainly on that occasion, Pinnacle Studio didn't recognize the RAW file, the Canon RAW file. And I've had to convert it to a JPEG so that it can see the file. Now, this may have something to do with the settings for the media, haven't told it to look for raw files or some other reason, and I haven't really got to the bottom of that yet. So I'll come back to you in the second part of this two-part series on Pinnacle Studio, with hopefully with the answer to that. But for now, I've had to convert this in Photoshop to a JPEG file, and the software can now see it. So bring that in. So under the project bin, we have the music, we have the rough footage, and we have the still photos. So basically we're ready to start working on these videos, and we can do that in two ways, either in the source preview and in the timeline, or both, and we will do both, and we'll do that in video too. So stay tuned, come back soon, look for part 2 of this video. Please subscribe to the channel and let me know in the comments if there's anything you'd like me to work on, to look out for you in terms of photography, cameras, video editing, whatever you like that you think I might be able to help with. Leave me a comment and I'll see if I can make a video for you. And see you in part 2.